we might have a few options. I don't know if you can just restart the broadcast. Hi. Sorry. Welcome to Taboo Topics. This is your host, Honest Kim, and we have, as always, the Psychic Sidekick, Annie Biner.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Welcome to Taboo Topics by Fashion First Aid. This week's topic is
Dun 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 dun. Dun.
Thank you, Psychic. Weddings, and some information on etiquette, how to be a good guest, and some funny stories and fashion tips, because we are Fashion First Aid. So let's get our dick of the week, followed by the psychic prediction. So let's get started on wedding etiquette.
So we've recently, it's wedding season, Kim. Congratulations, we've made it. It's summertime. We've had a few friends already have some weddings or engagement parties, and so we've had issues with people and invitations.
Yes. So let me read you something funny. I don't know if it was a real invitation reply card or not. So it basically says, the favor of your reply is kindly requested. And then there's 4 boxes. For 1, will attend. 2, will not attend. 3, will say I plan to attend, then I won't show without any explanation, even though you already had to pay for me in the advance head count. And number 4, will attend and will bring a date, even though the invite offered no indication that I could bring a date. But you're cool with it, right? So those are kind of, I think, the biggest invitation faux pas.
Yeah, so I think with invitations, you receive an invitation, it has an RSVP date, you either say yes or no. Yes or no, not very hard. And you put it in the envelope and return it, and usually it comes with a stamp too. So nothing to that. The other thing is, if you receive an invitation and it says nothing about +1. If it doesn't say a +1, you're going by yourself.
Well, yeah, whosever name is on the invitation, that's who's invited. If it's you and guest, then it means you can bring a guest. If it means, you and Fred, it means you can't bring your best friend instead of Fred.
Ooh, that's a good point. I would have never thought of that. What if you and Fred broke up?
Well, then you've got some splaining to do. I would call the bride and ask her, or tell her, or if you needed to bring someone else, if that was okay, because it may not be okay.
Yeah.
Because the invitation had Fred's name on it, and it's not substitute someone else for Fred.
Yeah, because I think there's a certain calculation or equation when you're inviting certain guests, because you think this person's going to get along with this person. Well, what if your replacement used to date the groom?
Yeah, so I think, you don't substitute without prior approval. And also, I think another tip on the reply card is you reply as soon as possible. If you know you're going, send that in like the day you get it. Don't wait around like, oh, I have 2 weeks to send it in. I'll wait till the last minute. Just send it in already. It's not that hard. Just get your pen, mark, put it in the mailbox. Done.
Yeah, I've declined 2 weddings so far this year. I might decline a 3rd.
Whoa, but do you still send a gift?
Yes, you do. If you're invited, you send a gift.
But do you?
Yes, I do. I just haven't sent it yet.
Oh, and by the way, here's another thing. You don't have a year. The whole, I don't know where that came from, but you do not have a year to send a wedding gift. You send something by the wedding date, or it's not a wedding gift, and you have failed.
You know what? I disagree just slightly, because one wedding that I was like, oh, I have a year. They actually got divorced in less than a year, so I was like, guess I didn't have to send that gift.
Oh, that's funny. That's really funny.
If you make it to a year, you get your gift. That's your prize.
Okay, but that's not proper etiquette. That could be the psychic sidekick rule. But you were psychic, so you knew they were going to get divorced anyway, which is why you didn't give a gift.
Yes, I also thought it was strange. I was invited to it, but whatever. It was a fun wedding.
Interesting. All right. So are there any other funny stories about weddings before we launch into some wedding fashion tips?
I could talk about all the weddings I used to crash until I got touched, and then I freaked out and didn't do it ever again.
You got touched?
The bride touched me. She told me to get out of her wedding.
Well, look, from an objective third party who saw you crash a few weddings, for the most part, you are the ideal wedding guest. Yeah. You talk to everyone. You get people out on the dance floor. I mean, people should hire you to come to their boring weddings to make it more exciting and to get people to actually mingle and have a good time. And you could do that professionally. But there is the other side of people that are like, yeah, I've got 30 people here and I don't know you. So who the hell are you and why are you here?
That is exactly how I got caught.
So maybe just crash weddings of
larger scale.
Yeah, maybe 80 to 90 plus might be your better, because we've recently seen people crash smaller weddings and it's kind of controversial.
I no longer crash weddings because now I understand.
Okay, super. So let's move on to wedding fashion, whether you're crashing or not. What are some important things to keep aware of and think about when you're dressing for a wedding?
I think there's all those little wardrobe malfunctions you have to deal with where there's already a lot of stress on your plate, and the last thing you need to worry about is whether or not a zipper broke, or if like my sister loves wearing cleavage shirts and boobs popping out. So like having things on hand that's going to prevent those issues from happening. Because nobody wants to see a nip slip. Nobody wants to see bra straps.
Right. I mean, this is a classy event. You should look classy. And for most people, dressing up is not something they do on a weekly basis. No. So they don't know, like, oh no, what's going on now? Why is this happening? Well, it's because you're in a totally different style of clothes and different style of shoes. And my big pet peeve with wedding fashion is the shoe removal. It drives me bananas. It's like, okay, I get it, you're not used to wearing heels, but when you buy them, and I know you buy them because I see you buying them in the stores, why don't you just buy a half a size bigger or something? If they're going to hurt your feet that much, buy them a little bit bigger so you can put some pads in, and so by the end of the day when you're wearing them, because you seem to wear heels at night, your feet are a little more swollen, you've been on them all day, you've had some alcohol, you've had some salty food, you're a little bloated. Like, just buy your shoes, or it's summertime and you're sweating, and buy your shoes a little bit bigger so you have a little bit room for your feet to swell. Because in most places where you're buying it, it's air conditioned and it's cool, and it's not the end of the day when you buy it. And also wear them around the house, and if they hurt, take them back. It's not worth taking your shoes off and looking like, I don't even know, I can't even say on the public podcast what these people look like. But leave your shoes on. They're like, people threw up on the dance floor after the YMCA. There's someone dropped a glass. There's broken glass on the dance floor. Cousin Fred is like spitting his chew. Keep your shoes on.
Wow, Kim, you're really passionate about that. I might have experienced it firsthand when Kim, the police shoe Nazi, yelled at me for an entire way. You're not taking your shoes off! No! Put them back on! That's not attractive. But the wedding was even nice enough to provide flip-flops for us hardcore dancers. And she's like, no, you pick those shoes, you're wearing them for the full night.
Oh, yeah, your dress looks so cute with those yellow flip-flops. Classy.
They were white. They were white.
Stay classy, San Diego.
I didn't get to wear them because shoe Nazi over here didn't let me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So what are some other tips for a wedding? We do have a new product I'm really excited about, which I think will be great for coastal weddings, especially West Coastal, and maybe fall or early summer weddings when it may not be as warm as you think. Is we have these little heat packs called hotties made in Japan with their awesome technology, and you just stick them inside your dress, to the dress, in the small of your back, and they give you heat, so they help keep you warm when you're in a little cocktail dress and it's kind of cool outside.
That's a great idea, Kim.
Thank you, Viner. We also have some great little, the attaché is good to have on hand in case you have a sudden rip or something. You could just stick it temporarily, which is better than rip.
Yeah, I also quick fix sticks, get out Skid out's great because if you get stuff on you, like hugs, especially men with suits on,
Oh, yeah.
I've definitely been guilty of giving guys some makeup chin.
Ooh, the beige chin. So quick fix. The double-sided tape is great to have on hand. You fix his toupees in case they get a little crazy, dancing to We Are Family.
Yeah. Guys, we don't want you to look unclassy with sweat stains, so garment guard grands, the inserts, they go inside your shirt so you don't have that big armpit stain when you're raising the roof.
Yeah, pit stains. Ugh.
Even worse when they smell.
That's good. Well, there's some tips.
Should we move on to Dick of the Week?
Let's move on to Dick of the Week. So, Annie, who are our two possible recipients?
Recipient number 1 is my face right there. Dick of the Week. Thank you very much.
What's his name?
Pedro.
No, I thought it was Jose.
He changes his name every day. So.
I thought it was Jose for Jose Herpy.
Oh, it's not a herpy. It's a zit.
Yep.
All right, and so option number 2 is people that like to publicly blast people on Facebook posts, long form.
Weird.
And I'm sure all of you have seen that person that's gone on that rant where they don't appreciate a family member or a friend, and basically tell them off to their entire community of Facebook friends that they don't like this person, don't like their actions, when maybe you should just pick up the phone and talk to someone or send them a private email.
Yeah. Not naming any names, but I'm voting for that person for the Dick of the Week.
Yes, we try to allow anonymity, and so that person rhymes with peg. Call your friend or your family member.
Or not, just send an email.
It's all you need is love. Stop mooching.
Get a job. All right, moving on to the Sidekick's prediction. What'll it be this week? Psychic Sidekick? Oh no, I'm the target. Oh no.
It's a big week. Lots of people coming to town. I think there's going to be some drinking and eating and educating and learning and all that fun stuff. But make sure you take a break. If you don't take a break, your face will look like that. And on Monday, there's a surprise in store for you. Take care of your loved ones, because when you get old, they're going to take care of you. And your lucky numbers are 2, 5, 9, 11, 1111. And hop over the puddle. Don't walk right through it. Your shoes will get dirty. That's it.
Wow, it took a lot out of me. Thanks, Psychic.
So much good energy. All right, I think that wraps up our podcast this week. Next week we'll be talking about Father's Day and what types of gifts we'll be getting our dads, like coupon books maybe, with expiration dates.
Super. All right, thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Honest Kim. This is Sidekick
Annie.
with Taboo Topics by Fashion First Aid. See you next Tuesday.
Enjoy your day. Taco Tuesday.